The Perfect Sin. By Roberto Song. Chapter 1, Shadows of Deceit. High school, a time of innocence and camaraderie, yet for two sisters, it becomes the breeding ground for betrayal and manipulation. Scene. The night is alive with the energy of a raucous house party. Neon lights flash, and music pounds like a heartbeat through the walls. The air is thick with anticipation, and laughter mixes with the clinking of cups. Amid the crowd, two sisters stand side by side, but their worlds couldn't be further apart. Emily, the elder, exudes confidence, her laughter contagious as she engages in conversation with friends. Beside her, Julie, the younger sister, wears an enigmatic smile that barely disguises the hidden intentions behind her eyes. As the night progresses, Emily finds herself drawn into the whirlwind of the party. Unbeknownst to her, Julie's intentions are far from sisterly. With a sly smile, Julie excuses herself, leaving Emily alone near the center of the festivities. Hours pass, and Emily's sense of security begins to waver. The atmosphere around her shifts, and a chilling sensation runs down her spine. She scans the crowd, realizing that the familiar faces have blurred into strangers. Panic takes hold, and Emily's heart races as she searches for an escape route. The party's raucous sounds fade as Emily steps outside, her breaths coming in ragged gasps. The night air is cool against her flushed skin. Just as her anxiety reaches its peak, she hears footsteps approaching from behind. Emily turns to find Julie standing there, an expression of concern on her face. "Emily, I've been looking for you everywhere," Julie says with practiced innocence. "I thought you left the party and went home already. Are you okay?" Emily's guard begins to drop, and she hesitates for a moment. Maybe Julie is right, and her paranoia had gotten the best of her. She offers a strained smile, trying to shake off her unease. "Yeah, I'm fine. Just needed some fresh air." Julie nods, her expression seemingly genuine. "Well, let's head back inside. I don't want you getting lost out here." As Emily follows Julie back into the house, a seed of doubt takes root in her mind. Could her paranoia have played tricks on her? Could she have misjudged her sister's intentions? Unbeknownst to Emily, the darkness of the night hides the truth, a secret that Julie holds close to her chest. The night ends with Emily shaken, questioning her own perceptions, and unknowingly stepping onto a path of deceit that will shape the course of her life. Chapter 2, Poisoned Alliances. The once unbreakable bond between sisters begins to unravel as Julie's manipulative campaign gains momentum. Scene. Several months have passed since the night of the party. High school has faded into memory, and Emily and Julie now find themselves on the cusp of adulthood as college students. The scars of their past linger beneath the surface, but outwardly, life goes on. Emily's college experience is marked by hard work, determination, and the desire to overcome the shadows of her past. She throws herself into her studies and builds a circle of friends who admire her strength and resilience. Meanwhile, Julie's actions become more calculated and sinister. She subtly poisons the minds of family members and friends against Emily, weaving tales of supposed slights and grievances. Conversations turn into whispered conspiracies, and alliances shift as Julie tightens her grip on those around her. As autumn leaves fall, a series of mysterious incidents plague Emily. A bouquet of flowers with a hidden wasp's nest, a gift basket of treats laced with itching powder, these cruel pranks create an atmosphere of paranoia. Emily's anxiety surges, and she begins to isolate herself, unsure of who she can trust. Amidst the chaos, a new figure enters the scene, Daniel, a college friend who's drawn to Emily's unwavering spirit. He's perceptive and empathetic, and his presence offers a glimmer of solace in the midst of Emily's turmoil. Scene. Daniel, tall and kind-eyed, sits beside Emily in a cozy campus cafe. The aroma of coffee fills the air as they engage in a deep conversation. "Emily, I've noticed you've been more distant lately," Daniel says gently. "Is everything all right?" Emily hesitates, her guard slowly lowering. She's grown accustomed to expecting the worst from those around her. "I don't know, Mark. It's just, things have been strange. I can't shake the feeling that someone's out to get me. Daniel studies her face, concern etched into his features. You know, sometimes people can surprise us. Not everyone has ulterior motives. Maybe it's time to give someone the benefit of the doubt. As Emily gazes into Daniel's eyes, a flicker of hope ignites within her. Could there be someone she can confide in, someone who genuinely cares? Despite her reservations, she finds herself opening up about her past, her fears, and the unsettling incidents that have been haunting her. Daniel listens attentively, his empathy a balm to her wounded spirit. I'm here for you, Emily. You don't have to face this alone. With Daniel's support, Emily begins to find the strength to confront the shadows of her past and the insidious web of deception that Julie has woven. As they delve deeper into the truth, they unearth a tangled history of envy, betrayal, and secrets that have festered for years. Chapter 3: Tangled Webs. Emily's world shatters as the truth about Daniel's involvement comes to light, leaving her grappling with a new level of betrayal. Scene. The cozy cafe has turned into a battlefield of emotions as Emily confronts Mark about the disturbing revelation. Her voice trembles with a mix of anger, hurt, and disbelief. I thought you were different, Emily's voice quivers, tears brimming in her eyes. I thought you cared about me. Daniel's gaze is heavy with regret, but his words are measured. Emily, I never meant to hurt you. But yes, it's true, there was something between Julie and me before we met you. Emily's mind races, memories flashing back, the late-night conversations, stolen glances, and the bond that had seemed so genuine. It all crumbles beneath the weight of the truth. You were using me, Emily's voice cracks. Both of you. Daniel lowers his head, unable to meet her gaze. I'm so sorry, Emily. It was a terrible mistake. As Emily storms away, the cafe's warmth contrasts with the ice that's settled in her heart. Her world has shifted once again, and she's left grappling with the question of who she can truly trust. Scene. In the aftermath of the confrontation, Emily seeks refuge in her dorm room. Her emotions are a tumultuous storm, and the past she thought she'd left behind has come roaring back. With the realization of Julie's involvement sinking in, Emily's anger deepens. She replays moments from their shared past, connecting the dots to form a painful mosaic of deceit. The sisterly bond they once shared now feels like a fragile illusion. Meanwhile, Julie continues to play her dangerous game, manipulating circumstances to keep Emily on edge. The pranks escalate, pushing Emily to the brink of her sanity. But this time, she's determined to fight back, to untangle the webs of lies that have ensnared her life. Emily's path to redemption will require confronting not only her sister's treachery but also the demons that still haunt her from that fateful night in high school. With newfound determination and the support of friends who believe in her, Emily embarks on a journey of self-discovery, uncovering strength she never knew she possessed. This chapter deepens the conflict and explores the fallout of the revelation regarding Mark's involvement. Emily's internal struggle intensifies, and the stage is set for her to confront not only the external manipulations but also the internal wounds that have shaped her. Feel free to continue building upon these developments to further propel the story forward. Chapter 4: Unexpected Bonds. Emily's journey takes an unexpected turn as she crosses paths with Daniel, the preacher's son, who offers her a glimmer of hope amidst the chaos. Scene. The small town's church stands as a beacon of solace, its stained glass windows casting colorful patterns across the pews. Emily finds herself drawn to the tranquility of the place, seeking a respite from the turmoil that has consumed her life. As she sits in a back pew, lost in her thoughts, a soft voice interrupts her reverie. Is this seat taken? Emily looks up to find a young man with warm eyes and a gentle smile. He introduces himself as Daniel, the preacher's son. Their conversation flows effortlessly, a rare reprieve from the storm that has surrounded her. Over time, Emily and Daniel's bond deepens. He becomes a confidant, someone who listens without judgment and offers a fresh perspective. With his unwavering support, Emily starts to find the strength to face her demons and reclaim her life. Scene. One evening, as Emily's journey unfolds, Daniel becomes a pillar of strength, a beacon of light in the darkness that surrounds her. Together, they navigate the challenges that life throws their way, forming a bond that could change both of their lives forever. Chapter 5: Beneath the Surface. The preacher's presence in Emily's life takes an unsettling turn as hidden secrets come to light, revealing the depths of his obsession. Scene: the preacher, a figure of reverence in the town, conceals his desires behind a facade of piety. Beneath the charismatic sermons and benevolent smiles lies an unsettling fascination with Emily. For years, he has watched her from the shadows, documenting her every move. As Emily's connection with Daniel deepens, the preacher's obsession becomes more pronounced. He manipulates circumstances to ensure that Emily's path crosses with his, weaving a web of intrigue that Emily remains oblivious to. Scene: one evening, as Emily attends a church event, she notices the preacher's lingering glances and a sense of discomfort washes over her. Unbeknownst to her, he has orchestrated the entire event to bring her into his orbit. In the dimly lit corners of the church, hidden cameras capture her every interaction. As Emily shares a conversation with Daniel, the preacher watches their exchange with a mix of jealousy and possessiveness. His growing fixation drives him to drastic measures, blurring the lines between spiritual guidance and personal desire. The preacher's manipulation culminates in a moment of unnerving intimacy, as he approaches Emily under the guise of offering counsel. His touch lingers longer than appropriate, leaving Emily shaken and confused. Unbeknownst to her, he has recorded the encounter, adding to the twisted collection he has amassed. As the story unfolds, the preacher's sinister intentions become increasingly apparent. Emily finds herself entangled in a web of deceit and manipulation, not only from her sister and former boyfriends but also from an unexpected source of authority. With the help of Daniel, she must navigate this treacherous terrain and confront the preacher's dangerous obsession. Chapter 6: Shattered Bonds. The preacher's disturbing secrets are unveiled, leading to a shocking confrontation between father and son. Scene: Daniel's suspicions about his father's intentions regarding Emily grow stronger. He can't shake the feeling that something is deeply wrong. One day, unable to ignore his instincts any longer, he decides to search his father's office for any evidence that might confirm his fears. In the dimly lit office, Daniel rummages through drawers and files, his heart pounding with a mixture of dread and determination. As he opens his father's briefcase, he discovers a collection of photographs that turn his blood cold. The pictures depict Emily in candid moments, captured without her knowledge. The realization hits Daniel like a physical blow. His father's obsession with Emily goes beyond mere admiration. Fury and disgust surge through Daniel as he confronts his father about the photographs. The confrontation escalates into a heated argument, fueled by years of unspoken tensions and resentments. The preacher's mask of piety crumbles as his true intentions are exposed. He justifies his actions with twisted logic, claiming that he was only trying to protect Emily, to guide her away from her sinful path. But Daniel refuses to accept his father's twisted justifications. The argument turns physical, with punches thrown and harsh words exchanged. In the end, it's Daniel who bears the brunt of the violence, his father's anger and manipulation overpowering him. Bruised and battered, Daniel realizes he can't stay in the same town as his father any longer. His decision is clear: he will leave, sever ties with his father, and protect Emily from the preacher's malevolent influence. With a heavy heart, he reaches out to Emily, confessing everything he's discovered and explaining his plan to leave town. Emily is torn between disbelief and gratitude, as the pieces of the puzzle fall into place. This chapter brings the preacher's dark secrets to the forefront and intensifies the conflict between father and son. It also deepens Daniel's commitment to protecting Emily, highlighting his journey from being an unwitting participant in his father's manipulation to becoming a pivotal figure in Emily's fight against those who seek to control and harm her. The emotional and physical confrontation between father and son serves as a turning point in the story, propelling the characters toward their individual and shared destinies. Chapter 7: Veiled Truths. Emily's concern for Daniel grows as she notices the bruises beneath his sunglasses, and she's about to learn the shocking truth about his departure. Scene. Emily walks through the school's bustling hallway, her thoughts consumed by worry for Daniel. When she spots him across the courtyard, wearing sunglasses that do little to hide the dark marks around his eyes, her heart sinks. Ignoring the curious glances from their peers, she hurries over to him. "Daniel, what happened?" she asks, her voice laced with concern. Daniel offers a weak smile, his attempt at reassurance falling flat. "It's nothing, really. Just had a little run-in, that's all." Emily narrows her eyes, not convinced by his response. "Daniel, you're not fooling me. Those bruises look serious. Please, tell me what happened." Reluctantly, Daniel removes his sunglasses, revealing the extent of his injuries. Emily gasps, her hand instinctively moving to touch his bruised cheek. Anger and worry mix in her expression as she studies his face. "I can't let this go, Daniel. Something is going on, and I want to help," she insists. Taking a deep breath, Daniel knows he can't keep the truth from her any longer. He recounts the confrontation with his father, the discovery of the photographs, and the ugly confrontation that followed. Emily listens in stunned silence, her heart aching for Daniel and raging against the preacher's betrayal. "I'm leaving, Emily," Daniel confesses, his voice heavy with sadness. "I can't stay here with him, knowing what he's capable of." Emily's eyes widen, a mixture of surprise and sadness crossing her features. "Leaving? But where will you go?" Daniel explains his plan to move across the country to live with his mother, hoping to start anew away from the toxic influence of his father. He doesn't mention the thoughts he's been wrestling with about his relationship with Emily, not wanting to burden her with more than she can handle. Tears well up in Emily's eyes as she takes in everything he's told her. She reaches out, gripping his hand tightly. "Daniel, I'm so sorry you have to go through this. But I understand, and I support your decision." They stand there for a moment, the weight of the truth hanging heavy in the air. Despite the turmoil, a sense of unity and understanding grows between them, a bond that neither manipulation nor deceit can break. In this chapter, Emily's concern for Daniel deepens, and she finally learns the truth about his injuries and the disturbing events involving his father. This revelation strengthens their connection and sets the stage for their individual journeys as they navigate the challenges and dangers that lie ahead. The chapter showcases their emotional vulnerability and reinforces their commitment to each other in the face of adversity. Chapter 8: Fading Echoes. The distance between Daniel and Emily takes a toll on their relationship, and they struggle to maintain the connection they once shared. Scene. Months have passed since Daniel's departure, and the once frequent messages and calls between him and Emily have started to dwindle. The initial excitement of their long-distance communication has given way to a growing silence that neither of them can ignore. Emily sits in her room, staring at her phone as she contemplates sending yet another message to Daniel. She's been scrolling through their past conversations, reliving their moments together, and wondering where things went wrong. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the routine of life began to erode the foundation of their connection. Conversations that once flowed effortlessly now feel forced, and the gaps between their messages seem like unspoken distances. Emily finally types out a message, her fingers hovering over the send button. She hesitates, her heart heavy with a mix of longing and uncertainty. With a sigh, she deletes the message, realizing that even the words she wants to say can't bridge the widening gap between them. Cut to. On the other side of the country, Daniel stares at his own phone, a familiar pang of guilt settling in his chest. He's been struggling to adjust to his new life, trying to find his place in a different environment while dealing with the emotional aftermath of his confrontation with his father. He opens a message from Emily, a smile tugging at his lips as he reads her words. Yet, that smile fades as he struggles to find the right response. He's changed, and the distance has shifted his perspective. The vibrant connection they once had seems to be slipping away, leaving him feeling both lost and remorseful. Cutting back to Emily. Days turn into weeks, and Emily's attempts to keep the communication alive yield diminishing returns. The silence becomes more pronounced, a reflection of the growing emotional distance between her and Daniel. She confides in a close friend, expressing her confusion and heartache. "I thought we had something special," she admits, her voice tinged with sadness. "But it's like he's slipping away, and I don't know how to hold on." In this chapter, the focus shifts to the strain that distance has put on Daniel and Emily's relationship. The fading communication serves as a symbol of their changing circumstances and individual challenges. The chapter captures the bittersweet nature of young love facing external pressures and the difficulties of maintaining a connection over distance. Chapter 9 explores the complexities of sibling relationships and the power of manipulation. By introducing Julie's calculated plan to rekindle her bond with Emily, the story delves deeper into the layers of deception that have been carefully woven over the years. The chapter highlights the tension between Emily's desire to reconnect with her sister and the lingering doubts from their troubled past. Chapter 9 False Reunion. Emily receives an unexpected call from her younger sister, Julie, who suggests rekindling their relationship after years of estrangement. Unbeknownst to Emily, this call is part of a calculated plan hatched by Julie and her allies. Scene. Emily's phone buzzes with an incoming call, and she's surprised to see her sister's name flashing on the screen. She hesitates before answering, torn between the past pain their relationship carries and the possibility of mending their bond. "Hello?" Emily's voice is cautious. "Hey, Em," Julie's voice sounds warm, tinged with a hint of nostalgia. "I know it's been a long time, but I've been thinking a lot lately, and I miss you. Can we meet up? I'm coming back to town soon." Emily's heart softens at her sister's words. Despite the history of hurt and betrayal, a part of her yearns to rebuild the connection they once shared. "Sure, Julie. Let's meet up. It's about time we put the past behind us." Cut 2. Julie hangs up the call with a satisfied smile, her plan falling into place. She leans back in her chair, knowing that her well-calculated move will bring her one step closer to executing her ultimate goal. Later. Emily and Julie meet at a coffee shop, the air thick with both anticipation and apprehension. As they exchange pleasantries, Emily can't help but notice the change in her sister's demeanor. Julie seems different, more composed, more mature. But Emily's guard remains up. "I've really missed you, Em," Julie says, her eyes shimmering with what seems like genuine emotion. "I've missed you too," Emily replies cautiously, unable to completely suppress the memories of past betrayals. Over the next few weeks, Emily and Julie's interactions become more frequent. Julie takes on the role of the apologetic younger sister, showering Emily with kindness and subtle gestures of reconciliation. Emily finds herself gradually lowering her defenses, wanting to believe that her sister has truly changed. Cut 2. Unbeknownst to Emily, Julie has been orchestrating this reconciliation as a way to gain access to Emily's circle of friends and acquaintances. She's been strategically planting seeds of doubt and misinformation, using her newfound proximity to Emily to subtly poison the relationships Emily holds dear. Julie's conversations with her old high school friends, who are still nursing grudges from years ago, turn into venomous gossip sessions aimed at tarnishing Emily's reputation. With each passing day, Julie's web of manipulation grows tighter, ensnaring those around Emily and sowing seeds of mistrust. Chapter 9 explores the complexities of sibling relationships and the power of manipulation. By introducing Julie's calculated plan to rekindle her bond with Emily, the story delves deeper into the layers of deception that have been carefully woven over the years. The chapter highlights the tension between Emily's desire to reconnect with her sister and the lingering doubts from their troubled past. Chapter 10 The Perfect Match. Julie's plan to manipulate and control Emily's life takes a new twist as she presents herself as a matchmaker and personal therapist, claiming to have the perfect guy for Emily. Under the guise of helping her sister find love, Julie continues to weave her intricate web of deception. Scene. Emily sits across from Julie at a cozy cafe, listening as her sister excitedly talks about her newfound career path. Julie explains how she's been working as a matchmaker and personal therapist, successfully bringing people together and helping them navigate their relationships. "You wouldn't believe how rewarding it is, Em," Julie enthuses. "To see two people find happiness and connection, it's like I'm making the world a better place. one relationship at a time. Emily is genuinely intrigued by Julie's newfound passion, and a part of her is genuinely happy for her sister's apparent growth and purpose. That sounds amazing, Julie. I'm glad you found something you're passionate about. A subtle smile tugs at the corner of Julie's lips. Actually, there's someone I've been working with who I think would be perfect for you. Emily raises an eyebrow, curiosity piqued. Really? Tell me more about him. Cut 2. Julie introduces Emily to Daniel, a charming, seemingly genuine man who shares Emily's interests and values. Emily is cautiously excited, and as she spends more time with Daniel, she begins to let her guard down. Emily's friends and colleagues are equally charmed by Daniel's presence, and Julie skillfully plants seeds of approval and encouragement in their minds. Emily's social circle starts to believe that Daniel might be the one who can finally bring happiness to her life. But unbeknownst to Emily, Julie has been orchestrating every step of their interactions, feeding information to Daniel to make him seem like the perfect match. In reality, Daniel is just another pawn in Julie's game of manipulation. Scene. As Emily and Daniel spend more time together, Julie is always lurking in the background, subtly guiding their conversations and interactions. She meticulously crafts scenarios that draw Emily and Daniel closer, manipulating their emotions and feelings. Emily starts to open up to Daniel, sharing her deepest fears and desires. Daniel reciprocates, but his words are carefully chosen based on the information Julie has fed him. Emily is blissfully unaware that her sister is pulling the strings, orchestrating their connection. Cut 2. Julie's ultimate plan begins to take shape. She approaches Emily, her expression a mix of concern and sympathy. I've been working closely with Daniel, and he's expressed his feelings for you. He's fallen in love with you, Emily. Emily is taken aback, her heart racing. She hadn't expected this turn of events, and a whirlwind of emotions churns within her. Could this really be true? Could Daniel be the one? But as Emily grapples with her feelings, doubts start to creep in. The past betrayals, the years of manipulation, all of it weighs on her mind. Is this too good to be true? And why is Julie so invested in their relationship? Chapter 10, The Perfect Match. Julie's plan to manipulate and control Emily's life takes a new twist as she presents herself as a matchmaker and personal therapist, claiming to have the perfect guy for Emily. Under the guise of helping her sister find love, Julie continues to weave her intricate web of deception. Scene. Emily sits across from Julie at a cozy cafe, listening as her sister excitedly talks about her newfound career path. Julie explains how she's been working as a matchmaker and personal therapist, successfully bringing people together and helping them navigate their relationships. You wouldn't believe how rewarding it is, Julie enthuses. To see two people find happiness and connection, it's like I'm making the world a better place, one relationship at a time. Emily is genuinely intrigued by Julie's newfound passion, and a part of her is genuinely happy for her sister's apparent growth and purpose. That sounds amazing, Julie. I'm glad you found something you're passionate about. A subtle smile tugs at the corner of Julie's lips. Actually, there's someone I've been working with who I think would be perfect for you. Emily raises an eyebrow, curiosity piqued. Really? Tell me more about him. Cut 2. Julie introduces Emily to Daniel, a charming, seemingly genuine man who shares Emily's interests and values. Emily is cautiously excited, and as she spends more time with Daniel, she begins to let her guard down. Emily's friends and colleagues are equally charmed by Daniel's presence, and Julie skillfully plants seeds of approval and encouragement in their minds. Emily's social circle starts to believe that Daniel might be the one who can finally bring happiness to her life. But unbeknownst to Emily, Julie has been orchestrating every step of their interactions, feeding information to Daniel to make him seem like the perfect match. In reality, Daniel is just another pawn in Julie's game of manipulation. Scene. As Emily and Daniel spend more time together, Julie is always lurking in the background, subtly guiding their conversations and interactions. She meticulously crafts scenarios that draw Emily and Daniel closer, manipulating their emotions and feelings. Emily starts to open up to Daniel, sharing her deepest fears and desires. Daniel reciprocates, but his words are carefully chosen based on the information Julie has fed him. Emily is blissfully unaware that her sister is pulling the strings, orchestrating their connection. Cut to. Julie's ultimate plan begins to take shape. She approaches Emily, her expression a mix of concern and sympathy. I've been working closely with Daniel, and he's expressed his feelings for you. He's fallen in love with you, Emily. Emily is taken aback, her heart racing. She hadn't expected this turn of events, and a whirlwind of emotions churns within her. Could this really be true? Could Daniel be the one? But as Emily grapples with her feelings, doubts start to creep in. The past betrayals, the years of manipulation, all of it weighs on her mind. Is this too good to be true? And why is Julie so invested in their relationship? Chapter 10 delves into Julie's intricate manipulation as she presents herself as a matchmaker and orchestrates a connection between Emily and Daniel. The chapter explores the delicate balance between genuine emotions and the shadow of doubt, as Emily navigates the complexities of a potential new relationship while grappling with the past. Chapter 11 Tangled Web of Names. As Emily's life becomes entwined with multiple Daniels, the web of deception and manipulation grows even more intricate. The two Daniels, each with their own agendas, become central figures in Julie's elaborate scheme to control Emily's life. Scene. Emily sits across from her sister Julie, processing the revelation that the new man in her life is named Daniel, the same name as her high school sweetheart. At first, Emily is taken aback by the coincidence, her mind flashing back to memories of the past. You couldn't have picked a different name? Emily quips, trying to lighten the mood. Julie chuckles, a mischievous glint in her eyes. I know, right? But trust me, this Daniel is completely different from the one you knew before. As Emily spends more time with the new Daniel, she begins to see the stark contrasts between the two men who Scene. Emily's heart races as she confronts the new Daniel, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and confusion. Why? Why would you do this to me? The new Daniel's smile fades, replaced by a cold, calculating expression. Oh, Emily. Can't you see? You were always just a pawn in this game. Julie and I had our plans from the beginning. Emily's eyes widen in shock, the weight of his words hitting her like a sledgehammer. She looks at him, her voice quivering. But, why? What did I ever do to you? The new Daniel leans in, his gaze unrelenting. It's not about you. It's about power, control, revenge. Julie wanted to see you suffer, and I was more than willing to play my part. Cut to. As the truth unravels, Emily's world crumbles around her. The moments she shared with the new Daniel, the hopes she had for a fresh start, all tainted by the realization that it was a cruel facade. The emotional roller coaster she's been on takes a stomach-turning drop, leaving her grappling with betrayal and heartbreak. Scene. Julie watches from the shadows, a sinister satisfaction in her eyes as she sees her plan unfold. She approaches Emily, her voice dripping with malice. Surprised, sis? Did you really think I'd let you have happiness? You were always the golden child, the one everyone loved. It's time you knew how it feels to have everything taken away from you. Emily's fists clench, her eyes burning with a mix of anger and pain. You're sick, Julie. To think you'd go to such lengths just to hurt me. Julie smirks, her twisted satisfaction palpable. You never understood, Emily. You never saw the darkness that's always been inside me. But now, you'll finally know. Cut to. Emily's journey becomes one of survival as she navigates the treacherous landscape of deception and manipulation. With her world shattered, she must find the strength to reclaim her life and uncover the truth behind the tangled web that Julie and the new Daniel have spun. As the chapter unfolds, Emily's resilience becomes a focal point, and readers are taken on an emotional journey alongside her. The intricate layers of the plot thicken, revealing the extent of Julie's malevolence and the depths to which the new Daniel is willing to go for his own gain. The chapter explores themes of betrayal, revenge, and the indomitable spirit that can emerge in the face of adversity. Chapter 13, Clash of Desperation. Amidst the twinkling lights and laughter of the fairground, the tensions between Emily and the new Daniel come to a head. The facade of their relationship cracks further as doubts and suspicions cast a shadow over their connection. A chance encounter with a stranger provides a glimmer of hope in the midst of chaos. Scene. The fairground bustles with activity as the scent of cotton candy wafts through the air. Emily's eyes scan the crowd, searching for the new Daniel amidst the vibrant chaos. When she finally spots him talking animatedly on his phone, a surge of frustration courses through her. She approaches him, her voice tinged with annoyance. "Daniel, we agreed that this was strictly business. Why does Julie keep calling you?" The new Daniel's eyes narrow, his tone defensive. "It's not what you think, Emily. She's just trying to discuss some potential matches." Emily's jaw tightens as she fights back the rising doubts. Matches? It sounds more like she's trying to matchmake between us. Their argument escalates, words flung like arrows, until the new Daniel's temper erupts. He shoves Emily back, his actions shocking both of them. Gasps ripple through the crowd as Emily stumbles, nearly losing her balance. Just as Emily steadies herself, a stranger steps forward, his demeanor both protective and concerned. He faces the new Daniel, his voice firm. "Hey, man, you can't treat someone like that. Back off." The new Daniel scowls, his bravado momentarily deflated in the face of the unexpected intervention. He steps away, shooting a final glare at Emily before disappearing into the throng of fairgoers. The stranger turns to Emily, offering a gentle smile. "Are you okay?" Emily nods, her heart still racing from the confrontation. "Yeah, thank you. I don't even know your name." He extends his hand, introducing himself as Francisco. "Francisco. Just glad I could help. No one should have to deal with that." Cut 2. In the aftermath of the altercation, Emily finds herself drawn to Daniel, a beacon of kindness and understanding amidst the turmoil. As they talk, a tentative friendship begins to bloom, offering Emily a glimmer of hope and a reminder that not everyone in her life is out to hurt her. The fairground becomes a symbolic backdrop for the clash of desperation that unfolds between Emily and the new Daniel. Their argument exposes the fractures in their relationship and underscores the manipulation that has been at play. The introduction of Francisco injects an element of unexpected support and compassion, igniting a new dynamic that will shape the trajectory of Emily's journey. Certainly. Francisco's invitation to his property in another country adds an interesting twist to the story. Emily's emotions and decisions will be influenced by this new opportunity. As Emily stood there, still recovering from the shock of the argument with the new Daniel, a soothing voice broke through her swirling thoughts. "Are you all right?" Emily looked up to find a kind face, one that radiated genuine concern. His presence felt like a lifeline in the midst of chaos. Taking a deep breath, Emily managed a faint smile. "Yeah, I'm okay. Thanks to you." Francisco nodded, his eyes softening. "I couldn't just stand by and watch. No one should be treated that way." "I appreciate it," Emily replied, her voice laced with gratitude. She glanced around, the fairground's colorful lights and joyful atmosphere a stark contrast to the turmoil she had just experienced. "I never expected things to get so out of hand." Francisco leaned against a nearby railing, offering her a sympathetic look. Sometimes, people show their true colors in unexpected moments. But it's important to remember that not everyone is like that. A mixture of emotions swirled within Emily: relief, confusion, and a lingering sense of vulnerability. She hadn't anticipated finding solace in the company of a stranger, yet there was something about Chris that felt reassuring. He tilted his head slightly, curiosity in his eyes. "Do you want to talk about it? Sometimes sharing can help." Emily hesitated for a moment, weighing the idea. She didn't know Chris, but his empathy was comforting. With a sigh, she nodded. "It's complicated. My sister, Julie, has been manipulating my life, and the new guy I thought I had a connection with, well, He's part of it. Fernando's expression shifted to one of understanding. Manipulation is a dangerous game. It can shatter trust and leave lasting scars. Yeah, that's exactly what it's done, Emily admitted, her voice tinged with bitterness. And now, I'm left questioning everything. My past, my present, and whether I can ever trust again. Francisco placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. It's natural to feel that way, especially after what you've been through. But remember, not everyone has an agenda. Some people genuinely care. Emily looked at him, her gaze lingering on his kind eyes. She found herself opening up further, sharing more about her complicated relationship with her sister and the emotional roller coaster she had been on. Francisco listened attentively, offering words of encouragement and wisdom. You have the strength to rise above this, Fernando said, his tone firm yet gentle. You deserve genuine connections and a life free from manipulation. His words resonated with Emily, touching a chord deep within her. As the fairground lights continued to dance around them, she felt a renewed sense of hope, a glimmer of light amid the darkness that had enveloped her. With a grateful smile, Emily extended her hand toward Francisco. Thank you, Francisco. For being there when I needed someone. He shook her hand, his grip steady and reassuring. Anytime. Remember, you have the power to choose who you let into your life. As they stood there, an unexpected bond formed between them, a connection born from a chance encounter and shared understanding. And as Emily looked ahead, toward the uncertain path that lay before her, she knew that with newfound allies like Francisco, she wouldn't have to navigate it alone. Chapter 13 explores the theme of unexpected support and the importance of genuine connections amidst turmoil. As Emily's encounter with Chris provides her with a glimmer of hope, readers are reminded that there are often rays of light in the darkest of times. This chapter also serves as a turning point for Emily as she begins to gather the strength to untangle herself from the web of manipulation and find her own path to healing and authenticity. Francisco tilted her chin up to meet his gaze. Emily, I want you to know that I'm committed to this, to us. This time apart is temporary, and when I come back, we'll have even more stories to share. His words brought a sense of comfort to her heart, and she managed a small smile. I'll hold on to that thought. They spent the next few moments in a tender embrace, their closeness speaking volumes. As the time to depart drew nearer, Francisco reluctantly let her go. Take care of yourself while I'm gone, he said softly, pressing a gentle kiss to her forehead. Emily nodded, her fingers intertwined with his. You too. And have a successful meeting. With one last lingering look, Francisco picked up his suitcase and headed out the door. Emily watched him go, feeling a mix of longing and hope. As she closed the door behind him, she couldn't help but reflect on how much her life had changed since they first met. The days that followed were both challenging and rewarding. Emily focused on her own work and responsibilities, reminding herself of the strong, independent woman she had become. She exchanged messages with Francisco, their words bridging the physical distance between them. But as the days turned into nights, Emily found herself missing his presence more than she had anticipated. The apartment felt emptier without his laughter, his stories, and his comforting touch. She realized that her feelings for him had deepened, and the prospect of being apart for much longer felt daunting. Late one evening, as she sat by the window, looking out at the city lights, her phone buzzed with a message from Francisco. He shared details about his successful business meeting and expressed how much he was looking forward to seeing her again. Touched by his words, Emily smiled and typed out her reply, confessing her own feelings of longing. The exchange of heartfelt messages continued into the night, bringing them closer despite the physical distance. As the days counted down to Francisco's return, Emily found herself counting down the moments with both anticipation and anxiety. The emotional roller coaster she was experiencing had brought her to a crossroads, where she had to confront her fears and decide whether she was ready to take a leap of faith into the unknown. Little did she know that the reunion awaiting her would mark the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with challenges, revelations, and a love that had the power to reshape her world. She started preparing, picking up her things to move in with him. Randomly she gets a phone call. It's her first ex, Daniel, saying how he misses her but also trying to blend in. His family is at old age and may not make it. She doesn't notice, he is using the bad situation in his life as bait, like a catfish being lured in from a sportsman fishing line. Unbeknownst to her, he's using this situation to manipulate her emotions and draw her back into his life. Emily, still caring for him on some level, feels torn between her new relationship with Francisco and her past with Daniel. The emotional turmoil begins to take a toll on her as she grapples with conflicting feelings. As Emily becomes more emotionally entangled, Daniel starts to exploit her vulnerability. He plays on her sympathy and nostalgia for their past, making her question her decisions. Meanwhile, Francisco notices the change in Emily's behavior and tries to support her, sensing that something is amiss. Emily, caught between her loyalty to Daniel and her budding relationship with Francisco, finds herself at a crossroads. Julie exploits her charm, influence, and connections within the community to spread rumors and half-truths about Francisco, sowing doubts in Emily's mind about their relationship. She strategically plants seeds of distrust by highlighting their age difference, cultural disparity, and Francisco's business dealings. Emily begins to feel torn between her genuine connection with Francisco and the manipulative tactics employed by her sister and ex-boyfriend. Throughout the story, Emily's internal struggle intensifies as she battles her emotions and tries to make sense of the conflicting information she's receiving. Francisco, who genuinely cares for Emily, becomes increasingly concerned as he notices her pulling away emotionally. He tries to reach out and understand her perspective, but the web of deception that Daniel and Julie have woven continues to tighten. The story is now heading towards a climactic confrontation, where Emily will have to confront her past, her sister's betrayal, and her own feelings for both Daniel and Francisco. This sets the stage for a dramatic resolution that will test Emily's strength, resilience, and ability to break free from the manipulative forces that have controlled her life for far too long. Chapter 15. The trio is set. Daniel's invitation to a supposed casual get-together with friends turns out to be a calculated trap. Emily and Daniel arrive at the pool party only to discover that they are in the house of the second Daniel, with his father present as well. This unexpected and uncomfortable encounter puts Emily in an extremely awkward situation. The presence of her ex-boyfriend, her sister's accomplice, and his father, who once had an inappropriate interest in her, raises her suspicions even further. The second Daniel and his father use this gathering as an opportunity to try to rekindle their connection with Emily. They employ various tactics, from trying to evoke sympathy by discussing their own life struggles to appealing to Emily's sense of nostalgia and history with them. Emily's emotions are torn, and she finds herself caught between her past and her present with Francisco. At this point, Emily's internal turmoil reaches a peak. She must navigate her feelings for both Daniel and Francisco while also uncovering the truth about her sister's involvement in the manipulative schemes. The confrontation at the pool party becomes a turning point, leading Emily to make decisions that will ultimately shape her future. As the story progresses, Emily's strength and determination will be tested as she faces the revelations and consequences of these encounters. The dynamics between the characters are now highly charged, and the story is poised for a series of impactful and transformative moments. Chapter 17. The tension in the story escalates dramatically as Emily's sister, Julie, takes her manipulative tactics to a shocking and disturbing new level. In a chilling and tense sequence, Julie conspires with both Daniel and Francisco to tie up Emily and imprison her in the basement of the house. This sudden and horrifying turn of events leaves Emily in a state of shock and fear, as she realizes the depth of her sister's resentment and cruelty. As Emily struggles against her restraints, she listens to Julie's tormenting words, feeling helpless and vulnerable. Julie's taunts cut deep, revealing her jealousy and bitterness that have festered for years. Julie's manipulative behavior is exposed in its most sinister form, as she sadistically enjoys her power over her older sister. During this harrowing experience, Emily reflects on the events of her life and how she ended up in this terrifying situation. She contemplates the choices she's made, the people she's trusted, and the journey that brought her to this moment of peril. Her inner strength and resilience begin to emerge as she fights to find a way out of her captivity and confront the harsh truths about her family and relationships. As the story reaches this climactic point, Emily's survival instincts kick in, and she starts to devise a plan to free herself from her captors. The psychological battle between the sisters intensifies as Emily refuses to succumb to Julie's manipulation and instead finds a way to turn the tables. With each twist and turn, the plot becomes more gripping and suspenseful. The story's exploration of manipulation, jealousy, and the complexities of family dynamics adds depth and emotional resonance to the narrative. Emily's journey of self-discovery and empowerment is central to the evolving storyline, and her ability to overcome the challenges before her will determine the outcome of her life's narrative. After 3 to 4 days, the second Daniel gets a heart and unties Emily. Whispers, "Go, just go." She gets away. Emily's escape from the clutches of her captors marks a turning point in the story, as she navigates the aftermath of her traumatic ordeal. Filled with a mix of fear, anger, and determination, Emily runs from the house, her heart pounding as she seeks safety in a way to make sense of what just transpired. She finds refuge at a nearby convenience store, where she uses the phone to call the police. Shaken and tearful, she recounts the horrifying events that unfolded, including her sister's involvement and the manipulation that led to her captivity. The police respond quickly, arriving at the scene to apprehend Julie, the second Daniel, and even Francisco, who is shocked to discover the extent of Julie's deception. As the investigation unfolds, secrets are exposed, alliances are shattered, and the truth comes to light. Emily's resilience and determination to break free from the cycle of manipulation and abuse become a driving force in the narrative. The story delves into the psychological aftermath of Emily's ordeal, exploring her journey of healing and recovery. It also provides a window into the motivations behind the characters' actions, shedding light on the complex web of emotions, envy, and bitterness that fueled the manipulation. As Emily seeks therapy and support, she begins to rebuild her life with newfound strength and resilience. The climax of the story doesn't just focus on physical captivity, it also highlights the emotional and psychological captivity that manipulation and abuse can impose. The following days become a haze for Emily, her emotions oscillating between regret, sorrow, and a burning desire for redemption. She reflects on the path she had taken, the relationships she had allowed to be tainted by manipulation and deceit, and the genuine love she had lost due to her own insecurities. Haunted by memories of the ordeal and Francisco's rejection, Emily finds solace in the support of the friends who had stood by her side during her darkest moments. As Emily grapples with her feelings, she begins to realize the importance of self-love and growth. She attends therapy sessions to confront the trauma of her past and develop a stronger sense of self. Her journey is one of self-discovery, where she learns to forgive herself for the mistakes she's made and to shed the layers of manipulation that had once defined her relationships. As years pass by, Emily's life continues to evolve, marked by growth, resilience, and the pursuit of healing. The consequences of the events that unfolded in her past still linger, but they no longer define her. She becomes a beacon of strength and transformation, a testament to the power of overcoming adversity. Julie, Emily's sister, faces the repercussions of her actions. The law catches up with her, and she's sentenced to a period of confinement. During her time away, she's forced to reflect on the pain she caused and the web of manipulation she wove. She wrote one letter back to Emily and told her, "The only reason I hated you was because the boy I really wanted you so he didn't pay me any attention." Emily responds back with a Merry Christmas postcard containing a one-sentence response that said, "Yes, I remember that boy, but you are my sister and I would never have done anything to hurt you." Julia, at that moment, realized 25 years of hatred, building a community tribe to war against the older sister, was for absolutely nothing. This period of isolation becomes a turning point for Julie, eventually leading her toward introspection and self-improvement. Daniel, the second one, is held accountable for his actions as well. While he's given a comparatively shorter sentence due to his assistance in Emily's release, he too begins a journey of redemption during his time in confinement. The experience prompts him to reevaluate his choices and acknowledge the darkness within himself. Meanwhile, Emily's life takes a different trajectory. She marries a local man and starts a family, finding happiness and contentment in the simplicity of her everyday life. She becomes a devoted mother, pouring her energy into raising her children and providing them with the stability she lacked in her own upbringing. However, a sense of yearning and unfulfilled dreams continues to linger within Emily's heart. She occasionally finds herself reminiscing about Francisco, the man who had offered her the chance at a new life and a love that transcended her past. She witnesses his remarkable life through the lens of social media, feeling a bittersweet mixture of happiness for his success and a tinge of regret for what could have been. Emily's journey serves as a cautionary tale of the consequences of clinging to the past. Her decision to stay rooted in her hometown, despite opportunities to explore new horizons, is a metaphorical representation of her inability to fully let go of the chains that once bound her. The comparison to Lot's wife in the biblical story adds a poignant layer to the narrative, symbolizing the weight of nostalgia and the danger of turning back to what no longer serves us. The story concludes with a sense of resolution and acceptance. While Emily's life takes a different course than the one she initially envisioned, she learns to find beauty and meaning in the present. She embraces the lessons she's learned, cherishes the love she has cultivated, and becomes a source of inspiration for those around her. Author's final words together writing this book. Roberto Sung and G.T. The Perfect Sin concludes as a story of redemption, growth, and the ultimate realization that true happiness lies in embracing the present and stepping boldly into the future. The ending strikes a balance between addressing the repercussions of past actions and allowing for the characters to find ways to move forward. Emily's evolution from a victim to a survivor who builds a meaningful life for herself is inspiring and relatable. Additionally, the fact that not all wounds fully heal and that life doesn't always unfold as expected adds a touch of realism to the story. The story takes a turn toward healing and redemption as Emily finds her voice and her purpose. With newfound strength, she confronts her sister, Julie, and the other characters who had orchestrated her downfall. She demands accountability and exposes the truth, ultimately breaking the cycle of manipulation that had plagued her life for so long. The final act of the story sees Emily emerging as a transformed individual. While her heart still aches for what could have been with Francisco, she learns to cherish the lessons she's gained from her tumultuous journey. She rebuilds her life with authenticity and resilience, surrounded by friends who uplift and support her. The conclusion of The Perfect Sin showcases Emily's triumph over adversity and her emergence as a survivor who refuses to be defined by her past. The story's overarching message is one of empowerment, growth, and the realization that even in the face of the darkest moments, there's always a chance for redemption and a new beginning. The cautionary aspect of Emily's story, represented by the parallel with Lot's wife, is a powerful reminder about the dangers of getting stuck in the past. The end. Final thoughts. It sounds like you've created a complex and engaging story that delves into the intricacies of human relationships, manipulation, redemption, and personal growth. The characters' arcs are richly developed, and the ending ties up their journeys while leaving room for reflection. Overall, the ending encapsulates the main themes of the story while offering a sense of closure and reflection for the readers. Remember, crafting a compelling and impactful ending is crucial to leaving a lasting impression on your audience. Your story takes the characters on a transformative journey, and the way you've concluded it offers both closure and room for readers to contemplate the themes and lessons presented.